So good morning, Lucy,
Good morning, Paul.
Welcome to our center here at PCCW Tower in Quarry Bay in Hong Kong. It's actually one of the centers within your overview in Hong Kong. Lucy is our regional managing director for Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan, and responsible for about 30% of the revenue and EBITDA being the profitability of the business. And you've been managing these three regions this year during the time of COVID. But actually, you've also been with the Executive Center for 15 years, having first joined the Executive Center and myself in Beijing. So it's been a long journey, Lucy, and obviously a very successful journey.
The first time I met you was in Beijing, when you visit our very first center. At that moment, I know I will work in this industry for quite long, but I never expect so long. Yeah, because before I joined the Executive Center, I was in the hospitality industry. When the headhunter approaching me said, "Hey, Lucy, are you interested to go to our," at that time, our industry still called business center.
Yes.
"Are you interested to be a manager of a business center?" So I thought, what? Manager of business center? In my mind, business center is the small office in a hotel, serve client for copy and scan and everything. I said, I don't think the role suit me. I think it's maybe you need someone else in a polite way. But they said, no, it's a different industry. It is different from what you thought. And please check the Executive Center website. And then I went to Executive Center website. I see this is brand new idea for me.
Yes.
And then I did almost 1 week research. I called the people I know in office leasing industry. I called some agents, and I even secretly visit the only operator at that time in Beijing was Regus.
Yes.
I secretly visit them. I want to see what is the business? How do they run the business? And then I got some idea. And then at that time, 15 years ago, I think compared to hospitality, this industry has at least 10 to 15 years uprising future.
Yes.
That's why I decided, okay, let's give it a try, which I have no idea about the industry before. That's why I think I know it's industry has bright future, but I don't know that I can fit myself so long and for this industry, and then especially for the same company in TEC.
Yes.
But I have to say, there's a reason why I stayed and worked so long in the company, because it gives me all the time new feeling. I'm a personality, it's very easy to get bored, to be honest. So for me, that's why the people know me, they cannot never picture me in that same company for 15 years. But actually the experience for me is not that's one direction for 15 years. This company creates opportunity for me to go to different position, to go to different city, understand different culture, work with different team, and then handling different clients and agents. So every time when I transfer, I was working TEC, start from Beijing, and then afterwards I was 3 years in Tianjin, 1 year in Sydney, and then 7 years in Hong Kong. But even the 7 years in Hong Kong, at the first 2 years, I was working in headquarters for expansion.
With the expansion team.
The whole path is actually keep putting me in a different position and in a brand new view angle of the work of the company and of the product.
Well, when you joined the Executive Center, we were a network of 13 centers, which is, you think back on it, we ourselves were a startup, and the industry itself was in its early days. In many of the cities that we opened in throughout Asia, Australia, and the Middle East, we were the first or second operator. And the concept of serviced office back then, later maybe co-working, now flexible office, was a concept that was very much unknown. Whereas right now, flexible office space or co-working rolls off the tongue and everybody knows exactly what you're doing. Do you remember in the early days, it was rep offices and small businesses. It was interesting though, right? Yeah. Because we were often speaking to multinationals, but it was their first office in China. Yeah. Or speaking to wealth managers, and They were managing 10, $20 million, whereas nowadays, some of our clients are managing billions of dollars, right? So it's huge difference, right?
Yeah, the industry changing is also based on the demand changing, the awareness changing of our products. So I remember that our very first center in Beijing, most of our offices are 1 to 5 people's office. And we don't have a huge lounge like this. We have a small pantry, can serve self-service coffee and have a microwave and water dispenser and the very basic function. And at that time, people prefer to have more privacy. Yeah. And they always ask, do I share office with others? I don't like it. That's interesting. Yes. And nowadays, the user, and you can even see from our layout, our design, and we have medium size and even bigger size for 80, 100 people's office. So that's the changing, evolving of people's awareness of our products, and also the changing of the industry. That's why, honestly, from now on, if I'm newly joined TEC, joined this industry nowadays, I still looking another 15 years uprising. Yes. For this industry. Yes.
I think you're right. I mean, I think COVID and the pandemic has adjusted people's thinking. It's kind of force-fed the concept of flexibility onto the global marketplace. And you can see companies wrestling with it. Some companies I've read recently, earlier this week, are planning on working from the office 3 days a week and then allowing their teams to work from home or elsewhere 2 days a week. We have, nowadays the executive center, more than 3/4 of our client base are multinationals. And a lot of these companies are wrestling with how to address their workforce accommodation next year. And we have quite a lot of clients that are approaching us nowadays for co-working packages, not for 1 or 2 people, but for 50, for 100, for several hundred people. And that's a new thing. The idea that a multinational would be wanting to sign up for several hundred co-working packages to allow its teams to drift from TC location to a TC location is quite a new innovation. And I think that will lead to further growth in the marketplace. So I think the freedom that I give you and the trust that I invest into you is earned from your performance and your experience. But then I want you to turn it around, and I want you to be one of the engines of growth and evolution for the executive center. We generate profits because we're a very good business. Our objective, in a funny way, is not to generate profits. We don't start out by saying, let's do whatever we can to make this profit. No, we start out from saying, let's run a very good business which has a valid product that the marketplace will purchase and continue to use. And because we're good at that, we will generate this amount of profits. It's a subtle but very different way to do it. And the only way I think to succeed in it is to have a team and led by people such as yourself that I can fully trust and put my belief into.
Yeah, I sense that. As a direct report to you since so many years, I really got the trust I from deep inside. And I think that's how we built the kind of partnership relationship, not only boss and staff. And that's what I learned. And also that's what I try to pass to my team. I trust them. The people who work really as a partner with me, for example, Hong Kong, I have Nadia. And in Taipei, I have Carrie. And in Macau, I have Christina. They work with me really close as a partner, not because they can do within their fields, they can do a lot of things creative, and then to in their way to manage the team, because culture are different and products are same, but the client is different, the market's different. So all this trust you gave me, I actually pass it to my partners in the different cities. It shows a huge power which they can really generate, and then which they can lead their team to achieve something even I didn't expect they can achieve.
We have to be number one, we actually have to improve, because, we have the competition looking at us saying, oh, well, we'll copy what they're doing. So we have to keep moving forward.
That's the part, what is really most challenging one. And that's also what I'm focused when I manage the business or when I work with team. I really try to train the leadership team to have this concept. I need to change. Even the market didn't drive me. I need to have self-motive to change, to make change, to be better. So even best can be better.
Yeah, I think that's the secret sauce of the Executive Center. We have beautiful locations, beautiful fit out. We work with wonderful designers, and we have, lovely ergonomic furniture and fabulous IT systems, and et cetera, et cetera. But it's the people in the Executive Center. And the people in the Executive Center, one could almost say, are no different from people in other companies, but it's how we treat them. We trust them. We treat them as teammates, we respect them, but we also then require that they contribute to the greater good of the company. We're looking to 2021. I have my frustrations. I wish that the COVID pandemic, for its impact on humanity, would have been wrapping up. We all wish there hadn't been a pandemic, but I don't think any of us expected that it would be a multi-year event. But it is absolutely continuing into 2021 and probably in parts of the world beyond. From a business perspective, Flexible has been one of the products that, if has been well managed this year, has found its place. We're having a good year. Our profits will be down from last year, but really frankly, we've done well. How do you see the opportunities for 2021? We know the risks. It's COVID, continued pandemic, continued lockdown markets. But on the assumption that things begin to change, what do you see for 21, 22, which might be different from 2019, 2018, pre-COVID?
Yeah, obviously will be different. The demand will be different.
In what way?
Even in the size of the office.
Okay.
So we need to react on the different demands. So before COVID, the demands came to huge companies with huge team, and then they start to consider. That's the beginning of our industry actually flying.
Yes.
But then suddenly COVID happened, and it slowed down the whole development. And then during COVID time, there's still demand. And the demand becomes to a smaller team than pre-COVID. So then we need to react on design, react on the sales channel, and react on price strategy. And also bigger is the whole business plan. We need to react on that. And for 2021, 22, we all know it will be tough. Similar to 2020, I would say a bit better, getting better that compared to this year. People were joking, they said, I hope that there's never 2020. Let's do it again. Next year, 2020 again. But in reality, we have to face to that. Yes. That's what I mean. The good company, good leadership, the key capability is to react on the changes.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I also see some geopolitical stuff happening. The continued, I'd say I was going to use the word emergence, but really it's far beyond emergence. The continued growth of China as a powerhouse, a global powerhouse, is obvious. China is going to end the year 2020 with the strongest GDP growth of any economy in the world. And this is going to continue into 2021. And for the Executive Center, Hong Kong, positioned on the southern coast of China, our perception of Hong Kong is evolving as well. How do you see that?
I think it's so obvious. Actually, if it's not COVID, the Greater Bay concept will be so much more.
And for people who don't know about the Greater Bay concept, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, the Greater Bay Area is actually including Guangdong province and Zhuhai and Macau and Hong Kong as a whole.
So the major cities, Shenzhen, Guangzhou. Yeah. And so can you imagine
this is the third Bay
220
area
million
in the
people,
world.
thriving economy, wealthiest part of China, and this is your marketplace.
Yeah, that's why I said the Hong Kong has a very unique position in this Greater Bay Area because the whole financial system, law system are completely different from the rest of the mainland China cities. So Hong Kong will be the center to attract international investments, international talents from Hong Kong via Hong Kong to mainland China, to Greater Bay Area, and then mainland China. And then on the other hand, the great Chinese talents also attracted to Hong Kong, to international. Yeah. So that's a transaction role. Before, Hong Kong is like a very independent Asia financial center, quite independent. And also, if you look at the previous record, there are more than 75% international investment to China are from Hong Kong. So it's not Hong Kong money, it's international money. Yes. They want to do business with China.
And that's continuing, right?
It's
so
continuing.
We're seeing surging take-up by multinational financial groups, major banks, taking space with the executive center in Guangzhou. In Shenzhen, it's a tech center. We're seeing major multinational technology companies, top-line brands, taking space with the executive center as they rapidly build up their headcounts in these two markets. But you're right. I mean, for us here in Hong Kong, we're seeing cross-border arrivals from the mainland. And as a conduit now for these companies to also move into India, move into Vietnam, Southeast Asia, and we've recently been signing Chinese companies in Japan, for example. So the spread is traveling in both directions. If I had to say, what was your legacy? What would you say to me?
I think people. We're back to the same topic, but really people is what I'm proud of, and I live. I really contribute to the company. If you look at especially China senior leadership, so many of them were hired or trained and worked with me before.
Well, you're known as a tough manager, but you're also known as somebody who nurtures and then secures and maintains your teams as well. So that's key.
Yeah, that's where I hope that all those leaders work with me, and then we grow together with TEC. And then in the future, they are the soul, they are the main players, and they are the soul leaders in multiple locations. And also, I'd like to share with the whole team how I enjoyed the work in TEC with so many years. I think there are two key elements. First one is love what you are doing, and second one is keep learning. That's what I really want to share with all the partners, all the team members in TEC.
What I think has been valuable to me is that you've never become someone who is working with me to make me happy. Rather, you were working with me as a partner. And sometimes we were happy, and sometimes we had our, I don't know that we had disagreements, but maybe discussions. Yeah. But we did it always in the best interest of the business. Yes. And we understood that by doing that, we could move forward, our objectives. And, that's the type of partner that I want to work with. And so it's, honoring you on this 15-year anniversary of your time with the Executive Center is a great pleasure to me, because you are a genuine partner for me in this business. So thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for all these 15 years, your trust. That's important to me. I think different leader has a different personality. But for me, trust gives the most support, and most field for me can really do what I'm really passionate to. I think I'm a person really, when I go to buy something, I want to buy the best. When I work in the hotel, I work in 5-star hotels, because I really want to go, if I go the best. So that's also one of the reasons I stay in TEC for 15 years. Because within this industry, I cannot go any other brands, which is better, which I couldn't find. That suits my personality. And then I had a good leader as you guide me all the time and give me your trust and give me the chance to be creative, to give me chance to be fail and learn from my failure. And that's my treasure.
Lucy, together, we've given each other the opportunity to be the best. And I think we've achieved it.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you, Lucy.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.